Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to use the iron with your plastic. Now whenever you use iron, you never set it down like this ever. You're always going to have it set up. It's warming, when it's off, when you're waiting to use it, it's always going to like this. Before we begin, the things you will need when you use the iron are a glove for your hand that might be it, or if you're doing the plastic bag, you're going to need parchment paper. That's very, very important. First, let's go over some rules. When the iron is on, you never touch it, ever, ever. You will never be able to use it again. If you touch it, it's very, very hot. You also want to make sure that if you are using plastic, have a glove on and you're holding it to it. If you're doing the plastic bag, you need to have your parchment paper, so the way the plastic doesn't melt onto the iron. The first thing I'm going to show you is what the iron looks like when it's plugged in. When the iron is plugged in, you'll notice that the light isn't on yet, and that means that it's not set to a temperature. This means it's off. So where we want to set it is around 4 and 5. So I'm just going to turn this. And you see how the arrow is pointing to near the 5, that's what you want. You'll also notice that the light is on, so it's starting to warm up. There's no water inside here because we don't want any mist and we don't want any water to fall out. So we don't want any water inside here. You will have to wait for this to warm up. So just sit, give it a few moments, see if it's hot. You are going to just go far away from it, feel if it's starting to get warm. When it gets warm, you're ready to start. The thing I'm going to show you is using the iron to soften the edges. When you first set it, it's very sharp, very raggedy, and we don't want that. We want it to be a little bit softer. So what you do is you'll put your hand in a glove, whichever hand's holding the plastic, and you're simply going to hold the iron, and you're just going to run the plastic over the iron. And what this is doing is just causing the plastic to get a little softer. And you can slowly start to see how it's like rounding out that edge. It's not as sharp anymore. I still have that little bit right there. I'm just going to go just on that part. And just round that out. And so you see it's starting to curve. So that way the edges aren't sharp. Now remember, this is still just touching the iron. So you just want to be careful. Let it breathe a little bit, and then you get it so it's not so hard. If you're making jewelry, if you're making bracelets, you're going to want to do this so that way it doesn't cut anyone when they start to wear it. And you can just keep piecing it out, keep going. Just remember, you don't want to keep it in one place. You kind of want to keep rotating it, spinning it around, going up and down the iron, and then you're pretty good. If you are doing the upside bag, what you really want are 2 pieces of parchment. So this is the paper. You want one that's going to go on your table or on the table. You're going to have your 2 pieces of plastic bag, and you're going to layer those on top. And then you're going to have another parchment over this. You don't want the plastic to come into contact with the iron because it's so thin, it might glue onto the iron, so you don't want that. You want to put the parchment over this. I don't need a glove because I'm just going to use the iron to go on top of it. All I'm doing now is just going, remember you don't want to go and stay in one spot. You don't want to go in circulation and then let the iron rest. Now this is going to work pretty fast, so just keep on checking and seeing how your plastic is. You might need to add more layers. You might, this is still a little flimsy. You might need to put a few more on top. That's how you use the iron. Once you're done, you unplug it. After you unplug the iron, you leave it standing up. That way it can start cooling down. You'll notice that the light is now off as well. And you also just want to turn it so that way it's no longer on. So it's back to that little by the 6. Then you're ready to go.